Hello, Squarespace friends, it's Pauline here, and today we will take a look at some of your options that are now available for making Squarespace appear less square. So that means fewer straight lines and fewer sharp corners in your website designs. So in recent months, Squarespace has released a number of nice features. We will take a very quick tour of those today. So as usual, I'm on a test website. This is not a real site. I'm playing around and some of what I do here won't necessarily look particularly beautiful. But for demonstration purposes, I'm coming into edit mode, of course. And the first thing to know about a very easy change, Squarespace now gives you the ability to make an image or a photo into a shape instead of having square edges. So to do that, you click on your image, click the pencil for the edit button, and then here in the design tab, you can in fact choose shape. There are several options here. Circles, I think, are usually a very solid bet, but if I click here on shape, you'll see that there are a number of other possibilities. I have to say, I don't love all of these. I think some of these could make an incredibly ugly and amateurish website. However, there are some nice options depending what you're working on, and perhaps some of the more simple shapes. I'm a big fan of the circle. That could work for you. I'm on the proportion tab of 1:1, so know that if you explore these other tabs, you'll get different effects in here as well. So that's a nice handy one. Also, Squarespace now lets you put in a curve between sections. So as you probably know, your Squarespace page is built up of horizontal slices or sections. This top section here has the photo of the hikers in, and then we move to a different section with this grey background and the text. So to add a curve between these two sections, come to the higher section, click on Edit section in your right corner here, and then you can choose Divider down at the bottom. This is a relatively new thing. Move the toggle so that that's on. And then Squarespace will generally default to this kind of wavy thing. But if we click on shape here, you do have some other choices. So you might find that you just want a sort of a gentle one-sided curve. We've got other section divider shapes here. Lots to explore here. Basically, again, I'm a fan of the more simple, the elegant choices. And then on the previous tab, so I'm coming back now, you'll see we've also got this thing called stroke that controls the little, there's a tiny white line in here just at the edge of the picture. Let me make that thicker, you can see it. Okay, so stroke is controlling whether we've got something going on here and what color it is. Again, less is more. If you've got a nice contrast between your picture and the following section, it's perfectly possible that you're not even going to want to add any kind of dividing line in there. Okay, so that's a good one to know about. Curved sections might appeal to you. Again, use with caution. Don't go crazy there. And then something that you might want to explore, again, I don't use this a huge amount, but if you come in to a section, say that you want to add a new piece of content and choose scrolling, Squarespace allows you then to add some scrolling text. So this one has the default information of Dream It separated by the wiggly wave here. Come into the design tab that's associated with this, and you'll see this wave intensity. You can actually make this line either wave or bend gently, or you can go more extreme here. Again, I think you can quickly make some really ugly things with this, so be careful, use it intentionally, perhaps limit yourself to the more gentle settings. When in doubt, I'm a fan of simplicity. I think moving text on its own is quite a lot for the human eye to deal with. So you've got that option if you do want to introduce a bit of curviness that way. So I've already hinted and said I don't necessarily use a ton of these features, and I certainly wouldn't use them all on one page or all in close proximity. So why is that? Well, in design terms, I'm a big fan that less is more. Here's another page. I made this for a previous video. And you can see that with just a few small changes here. So this photo has obviously a curved shape. There's a small accent piece here with some circular stuff going on. You don't need very much in the way of curves to elevate your website and make it look just a little bit more special and a bit less square. The other thing is, if you have a book available or coming soon, I work with lots of authors, and to my eye, the square aspect of a book just lends itself really nicely to the rest of your website being fairly angular as well. If you are an author, if you're a business owner with a book, you want people's focus to be on the book, especially on the book cover, not on the fancy effects and other things that you might think are cool that you've added to your website design. You really want the focus to be on the book. And books obviously are angular. I think they just look really nice with other angular elements. And then keep in mind, using Fluid Engine, we now have some nice opportunities. When I edit this page, not surprisingly, the dark blue here is a section, and then we move to a new section where the background turns grey. We have some really nice opportunities in Squarespace now to make it appear as though things are in fact crossing over section boundaries. So let me turn on my editing grid. So that's G on the keyboard. Assuming that you're on version 7.1 and using the Fluid Engine editor, I'm going to give myself just a bit more space. And this section, in order to do what I'm showing you here, this section needs to be set up so that your editing grid here, or your guideline grid, is in fact filling the screen. So it's extending all the way down to where the next section begins. That's a trick for making this work. Now I'm going to add a block. I'm going to do a shape. And I'm going to set the color of this shape to be the same as the following section. So I'm clicking the pencil. Color here, you can hardly see that because it's white on white. But I'm going to come in and choose this pale gray color so that it matches the section below. And then I'm going to drag this shape so that it extends all the way to the bottom here and all the way outside of the grid. So keep dragging, keep dragging, keep dragging until this cooperates. We'll get there in a minute. Until this shape cooperates and agrees to fill the whole of the screen. Okay, so once your shape is behaving itself and it is indeed stretching all the way to the sides of your screen, you could then take this image and bring it a little bit lower. In fact, I'm going to make the text less wide, increase the size of my image so this looks more proportional. And then we want to ask the image to sit on top of this new shape that I just added. So in the image editing bar here, come along, you've got the option here to move the image either forwards or backwards is grayed out because it's at the back. But if I move the image now forwards, it sits on top of the new shape. And what we'll see then when I save this page is we have this nice effect of the curved image appearing to cross over what we know would otherwise be a section boundary. So in Fluid Engine, you can do really nice things like that, and it just adds a bit more interest to all these square lines instead of you necessarily going all the way with the waves and the curvy features. Okay, hope that's some ideas there for making your Squarespace site look less square.